Welcome to Episode 7 of Parent University. I'm Sherry Weiss, Supervisor of Professional Learning for Bedford County Public Schools. As we prepare for the second half of the school year, we want to ensure our students and families are reminded of some helpful study tips so that you can meet your academic goals this semester. In this short episode, we are incorporating many ideas from Dr. Marty Lobdell, psychology professor, and his ideas regarding strong study habits. One of the most important study tips that we can provide for our BCPS students is that you want to schedule your day and break your studying into work sessions. Plan out your day into 25 to 30 minute work sessions. Work for 25 to 30 minutes on math and then take a 5-minute break. Then work on science for 25 to 30 minutes and then take a brain break. Taking that 5-minute break is so important so that you can refocus on the next task at hand. During your 5-minute break, do something you enjoy. Whether that is taking a walk around the house, doing 25 jumping jacks to get a little exercise, playing a game on your phone, or doing a silly video from Go Noodle. Just make sure it is something that you enjoy. I've included a sample work schedule here. This certainly isn't the schedule you need to adhere to, but it just gives you an idea of how you can kind of create a visual schedule for you to follow on those days. If you're a secondary student who is in the hybrid model and you go to school a couple days a week and then you're at home a couple days a week, or whether you're a Bedford Connect student and are at home all 5 days a week, it's really important for you to schedule out your day into those manageable 25 to 30 minute chunks so that way you can stay on task during the day and make sure you get your needed work accomplished. So again, this is just kind of a sample schedule to help you visualize what your daily schedule should look like in those 25 to 30 minute work sessions. The other thing that's important to remember is that you really should use the suggested pacing guides that your teachers are sharing for each module. They are laying out the module for Canvas for you and giving you expectations for what you should be completing each and every day. Really stick to this plan. The suggested pacing guides have been designed to help you be successful and complete all work on time. At the end of the day's required tasks, make sure you give yourself a reward. Make sure it's something tangible. When you finish your assigned work for the day, watch a TV show or play a video game. But let this be the reward for when all daily tasks are done, not sprinkled throughout the day, because that will serve as a distraction. Throughout the day, remember to chunk it into those 25 to 30 minute work sessions with that 5-minute brain break. It's important to remember that our environment influences our behaviors. Don't work on the bed if you are conditioned to sleep there, because instead of completing math problems, you'll end up taking a nap. Don't work on the couch if you're conditioned to play video games there, because you'll end up playing Fortnite instead of reading your English text. Train your brain so that you know whenever you sit down in your designated work area that you are there to study, not eat, Snapchat friends, create TikTok videos, or sleep. Before beginning an assigned task by your teacher, first do several things to set yourself up for success. Ask yourself this question: what is it that I'm supposed to be learning in this task? This helps to prime the pump, meaning that this helps your brain know what to pay attention to while reading the assignment or watching the video. Next, as you read through the content or watch the video, identify what information is facts and what information is concepts. Facts are things that we just need to recall and remember. These are things that if you forget them, you could Google them to find the answer. Examples include: what is the formula for slope? What year did World War II end? And what are the 3 states of matter? Concepts, on the other hand, require more thought and can't be easily Googled. These are the things that take what you know, those facts we just talked about, and ask you to do something with them. You have to take what you have learned and apply it in a new situation, or summarize what you have learned in your own words, or create a new product that demonstrates what you have learned. Concepts are what stick with us over time and what should be your focus. You also want to make sure you are not jumping straight to the assignments that have been posted for you in Canvas. We know you want to complete those since they are the graded tasks, but you aren't going to be successful on those assignments until you put in the time reading the directions that have been provided by your teacher in Canvas, watching the videos that they have created or provided for you, and reading the assigned materials. So what are some actionable steps that you can take to ensure that you have taken that new content that you've just been taught and actually committed it to memory? We need to be careful with highlighting. Whether you're highlighting notes that you have taken or you're digitally highlighting a text that you have been assigned to read. We often highlight too much, and we haven't actually distinguished key terms or key concepts. We then later see a word highlighted, and we recognize that word, and we confuse that with knowing the word and concept and being able to explain it. Recognition is not the same thing as cognition. So after taking notes or completing a task for class, look back over it and add additional notes to yourself in the margins. Make it real and meaningful for you. For example, if I just watched a pre-recorded video my teacher sent me on the causes of World War II, as I look back over my notes at the actions of the aggressor countries, I might jot down the word bully in the margin and put that word in the margin because I'm going to remember that these aggressor nations acted like bullies and that the world responded to the bullies just like we respond to bullies today. Some of the countries gave in to the bullies' demands and just gave their land to those aggressor countries, while others ran to the League of Nations for help, and others finally stood up and defended their own land. By making this connection between the aggressor nations at the start of World War II and the word bully, I've made that content relevant and meaningful to me. Lastly, you should summarize what you learn and record a quick summary of the main points of the lesson. You could also try explaining your new learning to a family member, your cat, or record yourself on your phone and see if you can explain the key points. The main question you need to ask yourself is, do you know it or did you just complete it? What were you supposed to actually learn during the task? Did you learn it? If not, you can't just move on to the next task in Canvas. Own your learning. You might want to try using one of the suggested strategies here to check for understanding. Some of the strategies we've suggested is a 1-minute summary. That might mean after you've completed a task or read some material assigned to you in Canvas by your teacher, take a minute and give a 1-minute explanation of what you just learned. Illustration asks you to take that material and draw a quick sketch or a quick image illustrating the main points of what you just learned. The 5 keyword strategy says, okay, pick 5 key words that really capture the essence of what you just listened to in the lecture or what you just read about in the assigned text. The next strategy is called explain your solution. That might be for a math problem. After you've completed a couple of math problems, explain how you solve the problem step by step in your own words. A Twitter post, this doesn't mean you actually need to post it on Twitter, but the idea here is that you explain the main idea of the content you just learned in 140 words or less. Sticky notes annotation is the strategy that you might use sticky notes to describe the key passages or key vocabulary or key concepts that you just read about or heard about in a video. So those certainly aren't the only strategies that you can use, but those are a couple of strategies that you might use to kind of check for understanding to make sure that you're not just completing assignments, but that you're actually learning the material you need to learn in order to be successful in the class. Before beginning to read an assigned text, make sure you survey it first so you know what to pay attention to while you read. Skim through it and determine what the main ideas are and what you'll want to pay attention to while you read. Before you begin reading, make sure you set a purpose for reading. If not, you'll probably just end up reading for the sake of reading and not actually comprehend or remember what you read. When your teachers are hosting live sessions, attend them. This is the best place to get help if you're struggling to understand something in the class, to review before a test, and to get to know your teacher and your classmates better. While attending those live sessions, put away the distractions. Minimize the other tabs on your computer. Turn off the TV and put the cell phone aside. Dedicate that time to learning, and then you'll reap the benefits. Another helpful study hint for success is using mnemonics when studying facts, not those overarching concepts. For example, if you need to remember the causes of World War I, you might use the mnemonics MANIACS, and that'll help you remember the 7 main causes of World War I. When solving an equation with 2 or more operations in a single expression, you might think about PEMDAS, which tells you what calculation to complete first, second, and third. You can also come up with silly sayings and image associations to help you remember facts. When listening to a lecture or while reading text, visualize what you are reading or hearing to help you make sense of the content. As you're completing tasks, you may find that you need to contact your teacher. Please do so either during their posted office hours or via Messenger in Canvas or through email. When doing so, it's important to remember that you need to give your teacher enough detail to help them know what your question is referring to. Identify the assignment name that you have a question about and provide as much detail as you can about your question. Remember that you aren't texting a friend, you are sending an email to your teacher, so you want to make sure you use appropriate language and proper English. You don't want to put the entire body of your email in the subject line. You want to make sure that you have a subject line. As you can see, I put a sample here, and so I put my subject line, World History 2 question, and then I greet my teacher at the beginning of my email. I identify what class I'm in, what assignment I have a question about, the Cold War editorial, and then I include what my specific question is. And then again, I identify myself at the end. So we just want to make sure that as we want to encourage you to contact your teachers for help, but make sure that when you're contacting them, you're giving enough identifying information so that they're able to help you. Remember, they're getting a lot of emails, a lot of questions, and so the more information you can provide, the quicker response you're going to get to the question you're asking. Okay. Lastly, we want to remind you that elective courses matter. Art, music, health, PE, your CTE courses, they're all extremely important. Each course you're enrolled in is teaching you important content and skills that will help you develop resiliency, problem-solving skills, to help you be able to analyze information and form a conclusion. So make sure that you are participating in not only your content classes, but also your elective courses. Most importantly, in order to be successful during the 2020-2021 school year, you need to be actively engaged and present each day. Be there and be present. Put distractions aside during learning time, lean into the learning opportunities available, and you will reach the goals that you have set for yourself. Bedford County Public Schools wants you to be successful and is here to support you. Please contact your teacher and/or your school counselor for additional support. We look forward to seeing you on our next episode of Parent University, and as always, Bedford County Public Schools is appreciative of the continued support that our parents and families provide the school system. Have a great evening. Good night.